Well, I'm early. I am early. I think I'm 2 minutes early. I'm 2 minutes early. Hi, Sherry. Hello, Deborah. We're 2 minutes early. That's good. That's a record. Make sure you're in live chat. We're going to talk about Lindsay Clancy. If you don't remember Lindsay Clancy, I'll go over the case. But it's a tragic case. Some people say it's the result of SSRI medication. Some people say it's postpartum depression. But we'll talk about it, and I'll tell you about a man that draws some similarities between what happened and what happened in his life. So I'll tell you about that too. Then we're going to talk about, I think what I'll first do is tell you about the drunk women outside this bar, because we're going to spend some time with Lindsay Clancy's case. But I'll wait until at least I'm supposed to be live. Hello, Joy Carter. How are you? So today was Jimmy's birthday. We went out. We had dinner. We are going to have cake on Sunday. He wants to have cake on Sunday because our kids, they are with very, very good friends. They're like family. But they go to school together, and but they're like family. They're like brothers. It's like another brother. It's very cute. And both boys are like friends with the same. So they went there right after school. Right after they run cross country together too. And so Jimmy and I had to go out of state. So we did that, and we got to have a day by ourselves, and then we went to dinner, and then we made our way home. And tomorrow he'll be bringing the kids back, and they're going to play on their guitars and stuff, because the dad of the kids. And then Sunday we'll have cake. So that's what we're planning on doing. Hi, Molly Y. Hi, TX Mopar. Hi, Barb Olson. Okay, so like I said, I'm first going to go over the Florida case, and then we're going to go right into and stay into Lindsay Clancy because it's very involved. But this Florida thing is crazy. 2 drunk women were outside a bar in Florida, and you won't believe what they were freaking doing out there. And of course, it's Florida. Here's our suspects. So these 2 drunk women in Florida are facing child abuse charges. Why? Because they were allegedly tossing, you heard that right, tossing, not a football, nope, a baby, into the air while drunk at the bar. And that tossing may have resulted in injuries to the child. It occurred shortly before 1 a.m. on Thursday outside the Coyote Ugly Saloon in Daytona Beach. 19-year-old Brianna LaFoe and 20-year-old Sierra Newell were tossing the child back and forth on a sidewalk. There was about 4 feet between them when witnesses seated nearby told them to stop. So, did they stop? No. Brianna LaFoe, the 19-year-old, starts throwing the baby up and down. Yeah, a little too aggressively. Security camera footage shows LaFoe walking towards the group with a baby in her arms and then striking a woman and screaming threats. And that's when she did that, really surprised me. Then she put the baby upside down. It was like, hold up, this is getting way too far, said a witness. Noelle was reportedly using crutches at the time and was threatening to hit people with them. Great. One of the arrested women held the baby upside down by its ankles and began shaking the baby boy. The child was brought to the hospital where the staff found red marks on the baby's back and an x-ray revealed a potentially broken bone. The age of the child was not released. Prosecutors charged LaFoe and Noelle with child abuse, while LaFoe also faces a separate charge of battery. Noelle has been released and LaFoe is being held on $3,500 bond. Authorities notified the state's Department of Children and Family Services about the matter. The child's relationship to the two women was not immediately clear. Wow. Just wow. Wow. Crazy. Hi, Grace Stewart. Hi, Liz Tops. Who did? Just nuts, right? Hi, Linda. Okay, so now we're going to go back and talk about Lindsay Clancy. Who remembers Lindsay Clancy? Because we covered this case. The Massachusetts mother accused of strangling all of 3 of her children. Her husband worked from home in the basement. Do you remember this case? She sent him out for... So, for those of you that don't, I'm just going to briefly go over what happened, all right? And then we'll go over, she was indicted by the grand jury today, but we're also going to go over some other stuff about why some people think this happened, the support that she has, and how a man that went on Paxil and subsequently killed his son was not charged. And I'm going to tell you about that. Okay. I put my timeline up over here, right? Is this my timeline? Yes. Okay. So let's talk about my timeline over here. Let me just get a graphic up over here. Okay, I have to have a graphic. Okay, so Duxbury mother Lindsay Clancy, back on January 24th, her day began uneventfully with a trip to the pediatrician, followed by taking the kids out to play in the snow. Just hours later, prosecutors say the 32-year-old mother strangled her 3 children and attempted to kill herself. So let's look at the timeline. In the morning, Lindsay takes her 5-year-old daughter, Cora, to a doctor's appointment. When they return home, they play outside in the snow with their 3-year-old brother, Dawson. And Lindsay sends pictures of the children to her mother and husband. Now, her husband works from home. At 4:02 p.m., Lindsay searches for Kids Miralax on her cell phone, and then she searches for Takeout 3V. Afterwards, she uses Apple Maps to determine the time it would take to drive from their house to the 3V restaurant in Plymouth. At 4:47 p.m., Lindsay calls a CVS in Kingston to ask if they have children's Miralax. The manager tells her they don't, but says they do have similar medications for children. At 4:53 p.m., Lindsay texts her husband, who's working in the basement, and says, "Any chance you want to do takeout from 3V? I didn't cook anything. It's been a long day." At 5:10, Lindsay calls 3V to order takeout. She sends her husband to pick up the medicine from CVS and the food from 3V shortly after 5:10 p.m. At 5:32 p.m., the husband, Patrick Clancy, arrives at that CVS in Kingston. 5:33 p.m., Patrick calls his wife from the CVS. She doesn't answer, but she calls him back 1 minute later and confirms which medication he should buy. He later tells investigators that his wife seemed like she was in the middle of something when they spoke. 5:54 p.m. Patrick arrives at 3V restaurants, pays for their order, and leaves. 6:09 p.m. Patrick arrives home. Hold on one second. And he arrives home to hear nothing, silence. And so he calls out to his wife. She doesn't answer. He goes upstairs to their bedroom and finds their bedroom door is locked. He's able to open the door, and he notices blood on the floor and an open window. He runs outside and sees his wife is on the ground and she's injured, so he calls 911. During the 911 call, he can be heard asking his wife, "Where are the kids?" He later tells police that she replies, "In the basement." 6:11 p.m. That's 2 minutes later. Duxbury police dispatch radios all cruisers to respond to 47 Summer Street for an attempted suicide involving a woman who reportedly cut herself and jumped out of a second-story window. The officers arrive and find Lindsay Clancy breathing and semi-conscious. Her cuts no longer bleeding. Patrick is with her. As first responders assess his wife, Patrick enters the home to check on the children. Soon after, officers hear loud screaming coming from the house. When officers arrive in the basement, Patrick Clancy reportedly yells, "She killed the kids." Cora and the 8-month-old Callan are found on the floor in the den area of the basement. Dawson is alone on the floor of his father's office. Patrick later tells investigators that all 3 children had workout bands tied around their necks when he found them. Lindsay is initially taken to the South Shore Hospital in Weymouth with several broken bones in her back and rib cage, injuries that have left her paralyzed below the waist. Her children are sent to Beth Israel Deaconess Hospital, Plymouth. The youngest, Callan, is later med-flighted to Boston Children's Hospital. At 7:28 p.m., Cora and Dawson are pronounced dead. 7:29 p.m., a Massachusetts State Police trooper arrives at Beth Israel, where he speaks with several doctors who treated the Clancy children. A doctor who tended to Callan before he was med-flighted describes the infant's condition as critical. Callan dies from his injuries 3 days later at Boston Children's Hospital on January 27th. Okay, so that's the case. Now let's go and pop up to today. So, Lindsay Clancy, accused of killing her 3 children in January, has been indicted on murder charges. And that's from the Plymouth County District Attorney's Office. Lindsay, 32, is facing 3 counts, each of murder and strangulation in the deaths of 5-year-old Cora, 3-year-old Dawson, and 8-month-old Callan. She was previously charged in Plymouth's District Court. Friday's grand jury indictment shifted the case to Plymouth Superior Court, which typically handles more serious crimes. During her initial arraignment in district court earlier this year, prosecutors described the violent series of events that allegedly unfolded in the family's Duxbury home on January 24th. They accused Clancy of strangling the children with exercise bands while her husband was out picking up dinner, then leaping from a second-story window in an attempt to take her own life. According to the court documents, Clancy's husband, Patrick, arrived home and found her injured on the ground outside. He called 911 and could be heard asking. We just went through all this, so we don't need to do this again. It's horrific. During February's arraignment, Sprague and defense attorney Kevin J. Reddington offered vastly different accounts of Clancy's mental health leading up to the alleged murders. Reddington described Clancy as a devoted mother whose mental health had been worsening in the months following the birth of her youngest child. He has also said that Clancy had been prescribed more than a dozen psychiatric medications between October 2022 and January 2023. More than a week after the alleged murders, Clancy reportedly told her husband she had a moment of psychosis after he left the house and heard a man's voice telling her to kill the kids and herself. Prosecutors say Patrick Clancy later told police that his wife had never heard voices or used the word psychosis with him before. Sprague argued that Lindsay Clancy carefully planned a lethal attack on her children, alleging that she gave herself the time and privacy needed to commit the murders, and then she strangled each child in the place where they should have felt the safest, at home with their mom. Clancy was hospitalized for her injuries and later committed to Tewksbury Hospital for mental health care. The DA's office confirmed Friday that she's being held without bail and treated in a medical facility. She is scheduled to be arraigned on the new charges in Plymouth Superior Court at a later date. So, okay, I'm just looking. So there's some comments here from people. And somebody said, depression, postpartum or not, is debilitating and is real. But ultimately, she murdered her 3 children. How to punish her is open for debate, but she is a murderer and a criminal, not insane, and is responsible for her actions. Someone said, I don't know how to feel about this. Charging her with murder? It's not as if punishing a mother who does this while suffering from a mental illness will prevent it from happening in others. Does the prosecutor think she wanted to kill her children? Healthcare providers and the public in general need to be better educated about postpartum depression and how serious its effects can be. The mother tried to take her own life first. That her mental illness was not recognized as being as serious as it was is part of the tragedy here. Someone said the mother didn't try to take her own life first. She killed her children first, and then she tried to cut her wrists, but only superficially, so then she tried to jump out the window. Theoretically, somebody experiencing psychosis would likely be successful in cutting the wrists. Sorry to be gory. Someone said, I certainly feel for her. I think you could make a case for almost any murderer being a victim, either a victim of upbringing, their financial situation, mental illness, whatever. But in a functional society, you're going to need to charge murderers with murder. Another one said, that's not what the Constitution or centuries of criminal law have figured out in this country. Of course, we make such allowances. In general, a sob story is not enough for acquittal. Insanity is. And it is incredibly rare and hard to get such an acquittal. It is used permitted in less than 1% of cases and only successful a quarter of the time it's attempted. This could be one of those times, and if it is, it won't break society. Okay, so when we covered this, there was a lot of, hold on, let me see if we can, medical history where she was going back and forth. She was saying something wasn't right. She didn't feel right. She was being put on different medications, but her husband said like she was having like her best day. And what I want to show you here is, hang on. Here's what I want to say. Patrick told police that his wife had been smiling and happy earlier on that day, and that despite a stay in a psychiatric facility in the weeks leading up to their children's death, Lindsay had been having one of her best days after a long struggle with anxiety. Her mother had come. She had been going back and forth. Let's see. In Clancy's case, she had been thoroughly destroyed by prescription medications, said her lawyer, including Valium, Prozac, Klonopin, and Zoloft, which he said masked her symptoms instead of treating them. And the attorney said that Clancy had postpartum depression and possibly postpartum psychosis, a rare condition in which hallucinations alters people's perception of reality after childbirth, sometimes driving them to hurt themselves or their children. Okay, let me just... Okay, so let's see. Here's some of the medical stuff, okay? At the end of September 2022, Lindsay Clancy said she's beginning to get anxious ahead of her return to work at Massachusetts General Hospital. And remember, she's a labor and delivery, she's a labor and delivery nurse. She works in the medical field. Let me just make sure, I want to make sure it's labor and delivery where she works, okay? I believe it is. She worked as a nurse. I believe she worked in labor and delivery. She worked as a nurse in the Massachusetts General Hospital. And I believe it was labor and delivery. Okay, so let's go back. So she was getting ready to, her baby was 8 months, and she was going to be returning back to work, and she was becoming anxious ahead of her return to work at Massachusetts General Hospital. That's what her husband Patrick told police, and she visits 2 different psychiatrists. She's initially diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder, and that's according to the Assistant District Attorney Jennifer Sprague. But Kevin J. Reddington, her attorney, later says that his client was prescribed 13 different psychiatric medications between last October and January, including some used to treat anxiety, depression, and insomnia. Okay, and those medications were Ambien, Klonopin, Valium, Prozac, Lamictal, lorazepam, Ativan, Remeron, Seroquel, Zoloft, Trazodone, hydroxyzine, amitriptyline, and buspirone. Husband Patrick Clancy told the police that his wife would take as many as 4 medications a day, though she would always take them as prescribed. Then October 25th of 2022, the prosecutors say that Lindsay Clancy kept detailed notes about her daily activities, about her mental state, and about the use of her medication. She writes notes on a phone, and they said on that date, "I think I sort of resent my other children because they prevent me from treating Cal," the baby, "like my first baby, and I know that's not fair to them. I know that I was feeling so depressed last evening when Cora and Dawson came home from school. I know it runs off on them, so we've had a pretty rough evening. I want to feel love and connection with all of my kids." December 20th, she was evaluated at Women Infants Hospital Center for Women's Behavioral Health in Providence. Psychiatrists told her that she does not have postpartum depression, and they said she has no symptoms of postpartum depression, according to, again, the district attorney, Assistant District Attorney Sprague. The end of December 2022, Lindsay said she's having suicidal thoughts and thoughts of hurting her children. Her husband told the police that. On January 1st, she self-admits to McLean Hospital in Belmont. The psychiatric hospital discharges her 4 days later on January 5th without any indication that she is a danger to herself or others, again, according to Sprague. Mid-January 2023, Patrick asks his wife if she's still having suicidal thoughts, and she tells them that she isn't, according to Sprague. January 22nd, 2 days before the children are murdered, the Clancys and their 2 older children have dinner at the home of Kyle Carney, Patrick Clancy's college friend. Carney later tells police that Lindsay seemed fairly normal that evening. He says Patrick told him that Lindsay was having anxiety about returning to work and had been prescribed medications which were, in Patrick's opinion, not working. According to Carney, Patrick said that Lindsay was suffering from benzodiazepine withdrawals approximately a month and a half prior and had the worst side effects possible. On January 23rd, 2023, 1 day before, Lindsay writes a note on her phone stating that she had a touch of postpartum anxiety about returning to work, according to Sprague. Now, see, I thought there was something where her mother, I hope I'm not getting 2 cases mixed up, where her mother came and she was doing really good and she was not to see. Now, on the 23rd, she wrote a note in her phone that she had the touch of postpartum anxiety, and then the 24th, we know what happened, okay? Now, on February 6th, she called her husband while sitting with Dr. Paul Zeisel, a psychologist hired by her attorney. She tells her husband Patrick that she heard voices and had a moment of psychosis after he left the house on January 24th. He asks her what voices she heard, and she tells him she heard a man's voice telling her to kill the kids and herself, and kill herself because it was her last chance. Patrick later tells police that his wife had never heard voices or used the word psychosis with him before. On February 7th of 2023, during her arraignment, her attorney tells the court that his client remains suicidal, adding that she's extremely emotional. However, she's unable and has been unable to express any happiness or sadness or cry. Okay, now I could swear her mother was in town. I remember reading that, but it's here nor there right now. So I wanted to tell you one other thing about the support, okay, that she has here. And then we're going to Okay, so dozens of letters filed in court reveal a wave of support for Lindsay Clancy, with friends and coworkers vouching for the Duxbury mother's character and painting a portrait at odds with prosecutors' description of a woman who planned a lethal attack on her children. I don't know a better mother than Lindsay Clancy, wrote a nurse, Erica Severi, who worked alongside Lindsay at Massachusetts General Hospital. And she said, and I quote, "She lived and breathed for her children." Another former coworker, Margaret Hamp, recalled how Lindsay would use a baby monitor to check in on her sleeping children while working the night shift. I can remember a time, and I quote, "I can remember a time prior to Lindsay and Pat getting married that Lindsay would say she wanted to have a baseball team of children. The letters were all sent to Clancy's defense attorney, Kevin J. Reddington. And they included not only character references from those who knew her, but also notes from medical and legal experts who were offering their insight on the case, and from strangers sharing their own experiences with postpartum mental illness. At least one person mentioned they were writing the attorney at Patrick Clancy's request. Lindsay, let's see here. Stacy Cabot said she met Lindsay, then Lindsay Musgrove, when she was a student nurse. As a maternal child health nurse, Cabot said she was shocked to see the number of medications Clancy had been prescribed leading up to January 24th, and I quote her saying, "Our healthcare model fails families like the Clancy family. We do very little to concretely help a mother who is suffering with postpartum depression. And when it comes to postpartum psychosis, we fail completely." In another letter, dozens of mothers from Foxborough, Mansfield, and North Attleboro voiced their support for Lindsay. And I quote, "As mothers, we are asked to hold the weight of the world on our shoulders. We push through the pain and smile despite our inward battles. Many of us have felt the darkness of postpartum depression, and for that reason we are able to empathize with Lindsay's pain." Okay, so they said her first priority was always for her children to feel loved, safe, and happy, and I trusted her implicitly with the care of my own child over the past 3.5 years, said her longtime friend Amy Bevins. I am steadfast in my belief that her greatest joy was being a mom and watching her children grow. Another friend wrote a similar message, and I quote, "I know in my heart and soul that Lindsay loved her children and would do anything to protect them." A nurse who worked alongside her said she lived to be a mother. She was so proud to raise her beautiful children, and it couldn't have been any more apparent. She educated new mothers and fathers and used her own beautiful experience to do so. Her patients were so lucky to have her, and her co-workers too. One former patient described Lindsay Clancy as the best nurse I've ever had. Ultimately, there wasn't anything she loved more than her children, Cora, Dawson, and Callan, and her husband, Patrick, according to a colleague and friend, Grace McNulty. I am proud to stand beside her, McNulty wrote. Okay, so let me just... So in May, this man, his name is David Carmichael. David Carmichael took the life of his son in 2004, 3 weeks after being on the antidepressant Paxil. He was judged to be criminally not criminally responsible on account of a mental disorder. And David is currently managing the Know Your Drugs Global Awareness Campaign. He and his daughter Jillian appeared on the Dr. Oz show in 2018, in 2 episodes of the Current Affairs show, and in a BBC Panorama documentary, A Prescription for Murder. So he then wrote about this and said that although there were warnings about the rare, potentially lethal side effects of selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, SSRIs, which were issued by the FDA and Health Canada in 2004, many North American psychiatrists and doctors still are not aware of how to prevent or even recognize rare problems. So again, in July of 2004, right after, about 3 weeks after he started taking Paxil, he had a psychotic episode and he took the life of his 11-year-old son in a London, Canada hotel room. I was charged with first-degree murder, but he was judged not criminally responsible, and it says in parentheses, insane, in October of 2005. And he was institutionalized in a mental health center and conditionally discharged in December of 2007 and allowed to live again with his wife and daughter. And he received an absolute discharge from the Ontario Review Board in December of 2009. So he said after that he became familiar with many tragic stories about these drugs, and so he said, he just started to write that there were similarities in this, that I was a devoted mom before, there wasn't anything she loved more than her kids. And, it's just something you might want to check out. Let's see, he gets to the end and says, he toured across Canada in 2022 in order to raise public awareness about adverse reactions to prescription drugs. He's going to have a next tour in the United States. Let's see. But it was just something I came across. I'll put the link in the video if you want to go check it out and just read. He goes through and just talks about her case, his case, and then our problems. His name, I will tell you, his name is Carmichael, David Carmichael. Do you know of the case, Barb? I can look up the case if it tell you about it in legal terms. Hey, Cranky Bobishka. Haven't seen you in a long time. How are you doing? I'm going to put... I lost my... Yay! That wasn't nice. I lost my live. I clicked out of it by accident. Hang on. I didn't really click out of it by accident at all. It just went. Hang on. Hi, John Wasaki. How are you? Oh, you never heard of it? Okay, let me just take a little look and see if I can find anything about it. Okay, so I'm finding, let's see. quite a lot here. So this is go on. Go on. Get over there. So he's on a mission, and I'm going to go back to something from 2005. If I'm able to, if it lets me to. No, it will not let me go in that. Okay. Okay, let's see. So let's see what he says. He says, a distraught dad has told how he strangled his own son to death after taking prescription medication, but he insists the tragedy was not his fault. David Carmichael from Toronto, Canada, said he had a severe reaction to the antidepressant paroxetine, which caused him to kill his loving 11-year-old son, Ian. His problems began when he lost his job as a recession hit in 2003, leaving him feeling distressed and anxious. His doctor had diagnosed him with major depression and prescribed him paroxetine. But David said he was not warned of the potential danger of the drug. And he said, and I quote, "If you're told you have a chemical imbalance and this particular drug can correct it, then you just think your doctor's got to be right. So I just blindly trusted my doctor and started taking the drug. After taking the drug for 8 months, Carmichael missed a few days and started to feel fine. I did my own research and I weaned myself off over about 5 weeks, and I actually was feeling pretty good," he said. After taking himself off the medication, he found work directing a kids summer camp. But he started feeling depressed again by July of 2004 after his job became overwhelming. Okay. Without consulting a GP, Carmichael started taking the antidepressant again. Hold on. At his original dose, which goes against all medical advice. Within 1 week, he started to have suicidal thoughts, and so he increased his dosage, thinking he could get better more quickly. Well, he then started suffering severe psychosis, and he began to believe that his 11-year-old son, Ian, was dangerous. I actually believed that Ian got permanent brain damage at that time. I thought he was going to kill his sister, even though they had a great relationship. He became consumed by those thoughts. And he took little Ian away to the family's cottage for a weekend, having planned a murder-suicide. He didn't go ahead with it, but still believed Ian was a threat to his sister and planned to instead kill him the following weekend. Carmichael bought sleeping pills, which he crushed and put in a container. Then he took Ian to a hotel. So we went to the hotel, and this was on a Friday night, July 30th, 2004, and we had a wonderful dinner. I looked at it as his last meal. We watched his favorite movie, and I gave him his sleeping medication. And he started to hallucinate. He wasn't going to sleep. So we were bouncing around and having a good time until about 3 o'clock in the morning. And that's when he strangled him. And he said, I put him in the middle of the bed, and I said, I love you, and sat down. Then he watched TV very calmly for 6 hours before he called the police at 9 a.m. He was arrested and charged with first-degree murder. He spent 2 weeks in jail in a psychotic state, but he stopped taking the drugs straight away. He says he then cried for 3 days straight. He could not believe what he had done. He said, I had not only taken Ian's life, I destroyed my family. The first time he met with his wife one-on-one, I just looked at her. I mean, what do you say? Our life is ruined. Our son has gone. And how do you rebuild from there? He was diagnosed as being psychotic depression at the time that he killed his son at trial, and was therefore found not criminally responsible and sent to a mental health center. After 4 years, he was released, but found it difficult to find work. So I dealt with a tremendous amount of abandonment and rejection, but my purpose kept me going. My wife Beth and my daughter Jillian, they stood with me because they were quite sure it was the drug. 2 months before his son's death, GlaxoSmithKline, the maker of the drug, added a warning to the antidepressant to watch out for behavioral and emotional changes, including a risk of self-harm. But Carmichael said he did not see this, as he already had a full prescription left over at home. He tried to sue GSK, winning his first trial before losing on appeal. A spokesperson for the company said, with respect to the legal case, the case was dismissed by the Ontario Court of Appeal in 2020. So, I don't know. I mean, that was so premeditated. I mean, that's what bothers me. It's not just like a momentary thing. You think if they're even thinking that they could tell someone, my gosh, I'm thinking like seriously of doing this. I mean, he took his kid away to a cottage. I'm sorry. This doesn't sit right with me. He took his kid away to a cottage to murder him. Doesn't go through with it, comes back, but plans his murder again, thinking this through, but not telling his wife. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. What do you guys think? I don't know. I'm having a little bit of a trouble with that. I mean, at least in the Clancy case, she was going and saying she was having these thoughts and things. I don't know. What do you think about this guy here? Don't get scared with the black screen. I don't know. I'm trying to get back to the live chat and it's just going black for a minute. I'm not sure. This case sounds weird. I don't think that would have flown in an American courtroom. I don't think he would have been found. I don't think he would have been found acquitted. I don't think that would happen. Lindsay Clancy sent her husband out of the house to pick up. Yes. Yes, I know that's premeditated. Yes, premeditated, Bart. But what I'm trying to say, they're both premeditated. Yes, I agree to that. Yes, but you're not understanding what I'm saying. He had a week between two different premeditated plans. What I'm trying to say is Lindsay Clancy was going. She was admitted to a psychiatric facility. She was telling them. She told her husband she had suicidal ideation, all that stuff. So that's what I'm just saying, that she had that. I'm not saying they both didn't premeditate it. I'm saying this guy did it like twice. And it's just weird. I don't think that I don't think Lindsay Clancy is going to get acquitted like this guy. That's what I'm saying. White Angel said, this case reminds me of the Christina Booth case. She was the mother from Olympia, Washington, who was charged with attempted murder of her 2-year-old daughter and 6-month-old twins. Oh, wait a second. I think I know that one. Was she like a doctor? An older mother? Wait, I got to look that one up because you just had me think of another case. Let me check that one. Yeah, plus Lindsay Wright has postpartum. Okay, she just had a baby 8 months prior. So, but I'm a little lost with, I don't know. A little lost on this case. I don't think, I truly do not think, I do not think he would have been, that would have been the same if that was tried in the United States. I don't think it would have been. That's my opinion. I'm going to stick to it. They both reached out for medical help. No, but he didn't. He did not. The second time, he medicated himself. He didn't go back to the doctor. He didn't say he was going back on the medication. He did it himself, and then he upped his medication dose on his own, not going to the doctor. So I have an issue with that. And I have an issue that, how did he have enough medication? Did he have a 90-day supply? I mean, after that much time elapsed, they should not have called in another script. He said he had medication at home, so that's a little bit weird too. Did you, Liz? Sorry. Okay, so what'd you say? Booth, you said, what's her name? Booth. What was her name? Christina Booth? Okay. Christina Booth. Oh, she tried. Okay, no, this is not the one I was thinking of, but I did cover this one. I know, I recognize the picture. Let me see here. She was an army wife. Okay, so let's see what we have here. Let's see what happened to her. Come on. Okay. So she was arrested for slashing the throats of her 2-year-old daughter and 6-month-old twins. She said she tried to kill her crying babies to keep them from disturbing her husband, who gets very annoyed whenever they make noise. Christina, then 29, and this is back in 2015, suffers from postpartum depression and says she hit her breaking point when all 3 of her young children started crying at once Sunday night, when she tried to put them to bed after having 2 glasses of wine with her Army Staff Sergeant husband, Thomas Booth, in Olympia, Washington. She told police that her husband, a Special Forces soldier at nearby Joint Base Lewis McChord, never helps her with the children. Hang on, my thing just jumped. Never helps her with the children, and that he gets very annoyed when the children cry or make noise. During an interview, Christina broke down crying several times and yelled about Thomas never helping with the kids and vomited once. She made the comment that they will be quiet now several times. She admitted that she went downstairs and grabbed a kitchen knife from the dishwasher, slashed the toddler's throat, then covered her under a blanket so that she would be quiet. She then slit the throats of her twin 6-month-old daughters as well. Sergeant Booth told detectives he ran upstairs and found his wife screaming and naked except for her underwear. When he saw his children, he got his medical kit and started to wrap his baby's wounds with gauze to stop the bleeding. He screamed for his wife to call 911. A recording of the emergency call reveals that Mrs. Booth did not tell dispatchers that her children had life-threatening injuries. Instead, she said that they won't stop crying and they won't go to sleep. The operator asked, "Do you think they need medical attention?" She says, "Yes, I don't know what they want." Then Sergeant Booth gets on the line and tells dispatchers to send an ambulance. The babies and Mrs. Booth can be heard screaming in the background. Mrs. Booth can be heard screaming, "I love you," in the background of the call. Sergeant Booth is heard telling his wife, "Don't say anything." A judge set her bail at $3 million for her 3 counts of attempted murder. The children were reported stable Sunday after surgery at a hospital. The hospital is not releasing updates on their condition because of the federal privacy law. They have been placed in the custody of State Child Protective Services. Police say that Thomas Booth is not suspected of a crime. He said that he told detectives his wife always took the children out of his presence if they cried. In speaking with the woman's husband and neighbors, detectives have been getting a picture of a family in stress. Neighbors said that Booth had a bubbly personality, but she had no break in dealing with her little ones. I'm sure there's probably was frustration, friction in the household. A lot of dynamics pushed her over the brink. A crying woman called 911 at 1:17 on Sunday and said her kids were crying and wouldn't stop. She said she thought they needed medical attention. A man came on the line a minute later and said the children were bleeding from the neck and needed an ambulance. So what happened? Let's try to get an update on what happened here. Okay, so in her case, thankfully, the kids did not die. But let's see what happened here with the attempted murder charges, let's say. Okay. Okay, here we go. Hang on, I just lost my, oh, come on. I have to get some more memory in my computer. I have a lot of memory, but I need more. I'm going to have to order some and put it in. Hopefully that will make things better. I'm not going to touch anything. Every time I touch something, I become impatient. It just makes us wait more. But okay, here we go. Let me just do the... Okay, well, that's what I wanted. Don't lock up on me again. Please don't lock up on me again. Please don't lock up on me. Okay, so... All right, here we go. So she was arrested, taken to the police station, and charged with attempted murder after police claim she slashed the children's throats with a kitchen knife to keep them quiet. She may have been overburdened by the responsibilities of caring for a 2-year-old and 6-month-old twins, according to the police. Her children were in protective custody. See. Let me grab the documents. Okay, and then she was... Christina had her bail set at $3 million. She said she knew if she killed all of the kids, the house would be quiet for Thomas, according to the probable cause document. Wow. Is this the 911 call?
Yes, immediately.
Court documents say the husband...
no, that's not that. Okay, let me go over here. 1 second, let me get this. I want to get her, if she had a plea or a trial. Let me get her trial. Okay, let's see. All right. Okay, so 2 years afterwards, Booth described that as the worst night of her life. In a Wednesday morning court hearing, testimony from the now 30-year-old, her attorney, and her adoptive mother told a story of early trauma and subsequent battles with post-traumatic stress disorder and postpartum depression. I hate myself very much, Booth said. I'm disgusted with myself. I'm not going to forgive myself. Thurston County Superior Court Judge Mary Sue Wilson sentenced Booth to 14 years, 6 months in prison. Her public defender, Patrick O'Connor, asked the court to consider the prior events in Booth's life and to remember that crime doesn't happen in a vacuum. Her adoptive mother, Carla Peterson, told the court that Booth came to live with her at the age of 4. At that point, she had already endured several traumatic events. When she was 2 years old, she witnessed the and murder of her biological mother. She was then placed in foster homes where she was neglected and essayed. The adoptive mother said her daughter was diagnosed early on with post-traumatic stress disorder and first suffered from postpartum depression as a teen mother. Her adoptive mother raised her son, now 12, then 12, okay? She eventually met her husband, Thomas Booth, and gave birth to their first daughter. Thomas, who serves in the Army, deployed almost immediately. Christina began suffering from PTSD. Peterson said, but got help and spent a lot of time with her and her family. The twins were born premature because of pregnancy complications, and Christina Booth again suffered from PTSD, her adoptive mother said. She started calling Peterson multiple times a day, and her mother would drive to Olympia on weekends to help her out. Her mother said she was most worried that her daughter would harm herself. She never feared that she would harm the girls. I think she acted out of desperation that night. She became that scared little girl again. At Wednesday's hearing, Thomas Booth described his wife as kind, sweet, and loving. He said Christina had never been violent before, and the events of January 25, 2015 came as a complete shock. He now has custody of the girls, who also spend time with Christina's mother at her home in Seattle. He says they're doing well and that he plans to stay by his wife's side. The police say that Thomas Booth may have saved his younger daughter's lives by performing first aid after they were cut. Let's see. Okay, so her attorney said his client's battle with mental illness was exacerbated by her parenting alone so much. He said Thomas Booth left on long deployments and that he was inattentive when he was at home. He described the Booths' relationship as strained and stressful. Okay, so rather than go to trial, Christina pled guilty to 1 count of first-degree assault of a child while armed with a deadly weapon and 2 counts of second-degree assault while armed with a deadly weapon. Okay. Both Booth's husband and adoptive mother asked the court to consider supervised visits with the girls in prison, but the prosecution disagreed. Prosecutors said there's no way to know what lasting psychological effects are for the 3 girls and for Christina. Peterson said she hopes Christina will eventually have a relationship with her daughters. Christina's definitely not evil. She really does care about the girls. She always asks how they're doing. Okay, so is she still in prison? Let's see. I bet. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like she is. I don't know if the husband and everything is still, if he's still standing beside her, but let me go back to you guys. Okay. Okay. Okay, dokie. Where are you guys? I'm trying to get back to the live chat. I think you're over here. So yeah, well, Barb, wow, that's so she got 14 and a half years. I don't think she was on any medication or whatever they said there. I'm going to check out your comments here in just a second. Did you follow that case? Is that just like a case that sticks in your mind, White Angel? Okay. Doodly doodly doo. All right. So let me see where you guys are. Hi, Kevin. Hi, Ruff. Hi, everybody. Okay, let's see. Anybody have anything to say? Too bad she couldn't get help in the military, Barb says. Okay. So, well, I don't know. I mean, let me see. How many murders I don't know. Okay, let's see here. Let's see. So we got Lindsay Clancy. Okay, so there's another case, Anna England. Yeah, we covered that one too. Let's see. Colorado. We covered this case too. Let me put this over there. Okay, so okay, let's see. She'd been grappling with psychosis. Okay. A Colorado mother allegedly killed her 2-month-old son while in the throes of postpartum psychosis just days after seeking help for her condition, with the baby's father claiming that she had threatened to harm herself and their infant in the past. Anna England, 29, from Boulder, Colorado, was arrested Sunday morning on charges of first-degree murder and child abuse, resulting in the death of their son, Miles Basilio. The baby's heartbroken father said that England had been grappling with psychosis after giving birth to their baby. I can't comprehend her internal thought process. It's weird that you can form a life with somebody and this happens. It's like, what? You couldn't think that was that person. Postpartum psychosis, let's see. England had sought help for her postpartum struggles at Boulder Community Hospital twice in the past 2 weeks. On Saturday, England's close friend and godmother to her son called the police, asking them to perform a welfare check out of concern that the new mom might be having a mental health crisis. The woman said that England was suffering with what she called postpartum depression and was suffering from insomnia. But contrary to what her husband said, her friend said she never talked about hurting her son. She was working with a therapist on it and seemed to be getting better, her friend said. We thought she was better, and then all of a sudden she just took off. The friend said that on Saturday, Miles's dad showed up at her home crying and saying that the new mom had taken off with their son while he was using the bathroom. She randomly left with the baby, no shoes that we know of, grabbed her bag, left her phone, and we weren't able to find her. The Boulder police said that officers responded to the home for a welfare check, and they attempted to locate her. They put a bulletin and alerted the jurisdictions. Around 10:20 p.m., England's car was spotted driving to Boulder Community Hospital. The police made contact with the mother and rushed the baby to the emergency department where he was pronounced dead before 11 p.m. Okay, so what's going on with her? Now let's see what's happening with her. This was in June. This was after Lindsay Clancy. So let's see what's going on with her. Shoot. Okay, let's see. She was charged. June. Where else? Where else is she? Charged with first-degree murder and child abuse resulting in death. So I don't know what, I don't see any updates other than that, but I don't know. Let me. Okay. Where the heck are you guys? Hopefully it's gonna. Nope, that's not the right one. That's not the way. There we go. So. Yeah, so I was just trying to see how many were, what was happening. So. That's what we have. And what do you think? I don't know. Maybe hospital healthcare facilities need to follow up with new moms after delivery. Yeah. Yeah, especially, I mean, ones that, I mean, you're talking about a woman there that's got a 2-year-old and twins who had all those traumatic life circumstances, and then her her husband is deployed or he's not really helping. I mean, just having one baby is a lot to take care of if the babies aren't sleeping, but having twins and then a 2-year-old, yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's just some cases that you find very intriguing, White Angel, and interesting. These are the cases. Michael Valva. So bad. So bad. I covered it. It is so horrific. Oh my gosh, it kills me. Justin Harris, who left his son in the car. Yeah, I know that one too. Twins and the 2-year-old. No. So, yeah. So, oh, I wanted to show you something else. There's something else I want to show. There's something else. So what is this? See if there's anything else or something. Oh yeah, this is, I just want to go over this. This is it. So apparently Brian Laundrie. Come on, go over there. Go over there, little one. Okay. Brian Laundrie sent a nonchalant text to a friend days after Gabby's death. So Brian Laundrie reportedly sent a message to a friend on September 4th, the day he returned to Florida alone after taking a cross-country trip with Gabby to the West Coast. I thought he returned. I think that's incorrect. Hold on a moment. I think he returned September 1st. Yes, I am correct. Isn't it scary when you're looking at like a trusted news source and they have the date wrong and you're like, nah, that's wrong. Okay, so let's see here. And it's really interesting that they got the date wrong, and like 3 paragraphs down, they have the date right. Oh my goodness. Okay, so anyway, he sent a message to a friend the day he returned to Florida, September 1st, after taking a cross-country trip with Gabby to the West Coast. The message didn't mention anything about Gabby, although By that time, she passed away. And what it said, it says, we made a lot of content. It was once in a lifetime. Gab and I had fun. Tired now. Gonna sleep for a week. Of course, Gabby Petito was found deceased September 19th, 2021 at the Grand Teton National Park. Her death was labeled a homicide, and Laundrie was the sole suspect. Investigators believe that she died around August 28th. In late October, Laundrie's partial skull and some belongings were discovered at the Myakkahatchee Creek Environmental Park in Florida. The following month, the medical examiner determined that Brian Laundrie died from a single gunshot wound to the head that was self-inflicted. He also confessed to killing Gabby in a notebook that was found near his partial remains. I ended her life, he wrote. I thought it was merciful. That is what she wanted. But now I see all the mistakes I made. I panicked. I was in shock. Yeah, sure, Brian. Sure. From the moment I decided to take away her pain, I knew I couldn't go on without her. Yeah, take away her pain. Give me a break. Following her death, Gabby Petito's parents filed a lawsuit against the Laundrie parents, Chris and Roberta, and their attorney, Stephen Bertolino, for intentional infliction of emotional distress. And the lawsuit alleges that the Laundrie parents knew that their son murdered their daughter, Gabby Petito, and did virtually nothing except express hope that she would be located. The Petito family also sued the Moab, Utah Police Department, accusing them of allowing Laundrie to leave after an argument with their daughter, Gabby. Okay, so... that's that. Go over here. And... okay. I'm going to put down. So it's 2 o'clock in the morning. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. I agree, Barb. I agree. Okay, so 2 o'clock in the morning. Does anybody else have anything to say at 2 o'clock in the morning? It's a little past a reasonable hour. Sorry, I'm just being a little punchy. Okay. So, putting on a shirt. What else? Would you like to hold on a minute? One second. Shh. Quiet. I want to look at one thing. I want to tell you about something that I told you in the car about the alligator attack, right? The Girl Scout one, okay? Okay. Okay, so here we go. An alligator charged at a Texas Girl Scout group during a swim. Now, they said that it was in Florida. You know what? When I heard about it, it said they were in Florida. Were they on vacation in Florida? Were they... Hold on. No, it was in Texas. Okay. So it was in Texas. Troop leader Nicole Glenn said she was sure the gator was going to try and eat somebody. Texas Girl Scout troop might be due for a new badge after they escaped an alligator on Saturday. The close encounter occurred when the troop was on an overnight camping trip at Huntsville State Park. The group was swimming in the water at Lake Raven. Okay. I'm going to pull that up. Huntsville State Park, Lake Raven. Okay, this is the state park that I'm going to pull up right over here. Come on. Come on. There's gators in Texas too. Yikesies. Yikesies, yikesies. I don't like gators. Sorry. Oh my gosh, I'm just trying to get this picture to show you what this looked like. It's a very scary situation, isn't it? Very scary. Just forget that. I don't want that. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Okay, here we go. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh, I'm going to pull my skin off. I can't take it. I can't take it. Okay, so this is the lake. All right. And see, there's like, it's at a Lake Raven is what it's called. Okay. All right, so the group was swimming in the water when the alligator, which was estimated to be 12 to 14 feet long, charged towards them. There was no doubt in my mind that that alligator was going to try and eat somebody, said the troop leader, Nicole Glenn. Video footage from the ordeal showed the girls screaming and running out of the water as the gator approached, while the person recording the video could be heard saying, "This is an emergency." The person filming the video was someone called David Carmichael. He said he expected that the gator would flee once it saw people rushing out of the water, but that was not the case. It was aiming quickly towards the little kids. An 11-year-old little girl, Ava Miller, said, and I quote, "I was thinking, this is the day I die." The troop leader also put herself in between the alligator and another troop member, Erin White, who jumped into the water as the gator approached the group, unaware of what was going on. I made sure if he was going to eat somebody, he would eat me first. The Texas Park and Wildlife Department said that the swimming area was closed for the rest of the day. Really? No kidding? Several unwelcome alligators from the state park have previously been removed, and the agency is discussing whether it is necessary to do it again. Really? You think so, guys? Another change being considered is adding more signage, warning of alligators in the area. Oh my gosh. Even after the initial chaos, the troop leader said it took hours for them to calm down, and some of the girls still have mixed feelings about getting back in the water to swim. The gator, which they've named Karen, still taught the kids a valuable lesson. I should probably focus on my surroundings more, said White. Glenn added that while she always said she loved the girls to death and would do anything for them, she now knows it wasn't hyperbole. Okay, so that was scary, okay? And then okay, let me go back to you guys where you are. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. I would not swim in a lake with alligators. I would not swim in any fresh water with alligators. Alligator. We don't have alligators, thankfully. Alligators, you're not welcome here. Alligators, you're not welcome here. Hold on, I'm trying to get back to the live chat, guys. I'm going to buy the memory for the computer. Oh my gosh, now my video. This is crazy. Trying to get back, guys. Trying to find my way home. Come on. Come on. Oh my goodness. You know it's getting cold to start needing, well, we didn't need the heat in the car. Usually you need the heat in the car like in August, but in the house, we had to put the heat on tonight We gotta put the heat on tonight. Do you know how much I don't want this? Okay? Do you know how much? Stop. I don't want this. This is not right. At all. And do you know that somebody wrote to me and they said that daylight savings time was no more? That's not the case. They're still going to put the clocks back. Yeah, and then they're supposed to keep them back, maybe. I don't know. It's a bunch of malarkey, because then if they left it the way it is now, it would still be light like at 9 o'clock in the summer, but now it's going to be only light till about 8 o'clock now. That sucks. Everything about this is sucky. It sounded good when I heard it, but it's sucky. Just telling you. It's not what it's cracked up to be at all. Feeling hungry now. Now I'm feeling hungry. I only ate half of my dinner because I couldn't eat it all. I couldn't eat it all. I'm back in the chat now. I'm back in. Okay. Here we are. Oh, stop it. Stop it, Ruff. You live in Georgia. You can't say that. Nice fall weather is like our summer. Come on. Stop that. Carolyn, tell Mother Nature to knock it off. Yeah, I should. Oh my gosh. You're going out for tacos? I'm freezing right now. Like can't tell you that I need maybe my little foot heater. Okay, I'm freezing right now. My bottom of my legs are cold. Thank you very much. I'm wearing a sweatshirt and I'm very cold. So anyway, I think it is time to look at the word cookie time, because I don't know. Got a lot to do tomorrow. Got a lot to do this weekend. You know what? You go out. You know, it takes a whole day to do that, but you know, there's only so many hours. Then I feel like I'm just getting more behind. Oh, it's a never-ending cycle, isn't it vicious? Okay, come on. Okay, good. Let's do the daily, on the daily, on the daily, on the daily, on the daily level. Oh my gosh. Here we go. Yay, I got the star. Okay. Another one. Another one. Oh my gosh. It stopped. No, it's... Oh, what is it doing? Guys? Are you still there? That was a weird noise. There's just a little weird noise that sounded like someone just... It might be an animal. It was weird. I feel better that you can see me. All right, let's stay around. Okay, let me see. Emit, okay, E. What are you saying? Who are you guys saying? Meyer, I already have that. Hi, Senrisa. Senrisa, did you get my PayPal request for your Dachshund pin? If you can hear me, I sent you a PayPal request. I hope that you saw that, so I can get that out to you. I did Meyer, didn't I? Right here is Meyer, right here, guys. M-I-R-E, it's been there. Okay, let's see. Amir. Hi, Adventures with Beth. How are you? Amir. Okay. Okay. Okay, and then T-I-E-R. Okay, and then T-I. I thought I did. Oh, wait a minute. T-I. G-I-R. No, how about, oh, T-R-I-M? Yeah. That's what it is. And over here it's T-R-I-N. No, T. T-I-R-E. No. T-R-I. What is it? T-R, Trier? Trier, thank you, Beth. I'm a trier. Okay, I'll take it. Okay, we'll play a home. I'm so hungry. Okay. Binky, hi Binky, hi Binky. I already did stretch. Oh shoot. I was getting all excited. Come on. I tried tech. I tried it all. Kevin, I tried it. Kevin. Everything is not doing it. Oh my gosh. What am I gonna do? Come on, guys, you gotta help me out, please. Oh my goodness. Sorry about getting hungry. I tried that best. I tried Rex. It's a dog, Mom. Rex. Can we keep him? I'm gonna name him Rex. I know. REX, I know, but it just made me think about Snoopy. I'm sorry. Thinking about Snoopy makes me happy. Oh, I got one on myself. I got it. Thank you, Senrisa. I'll get your pin out now. Thank you. All right, let's see what this is now. Come on. Test. Did we do test? Yeah, we did it. Hers. Yay. Oh, finally, pistachio. We're almost going to level up. We're going to level up now pretty soon. We got one more. We're going to level. So we haven't gone on to play this for a while, and that means that it's not good, okay? I'm getting so hungry now. Oh, darn. What are you saying? Dram? Drama without the A? I did road. Adorn is a good one. Who said that? WD. Okay, good. Random. That's good. Who said that? Deborah. Okay. There's no T for tandem. Run. Don't. Doma. Amonda. I'm just being silly now. How about Mar? Oh my goodness. Dorn. Yes, that's a good one. Adventures. Uh-oh. No, it doesn't want to give it to us. I thought I did moan. I thought, oh, okay. I thought I had done that. Dones. How about Dones back pills? Nope. How about Dorn? How about man? Oh man, a war. How about Roma? Tomatoes. How about nomad? Yeah, I got that. Yes. How about I tried Rand, I think. Yeah, see? Yes, it's pink. Oh my goodness. I did that, got that up there. Man, very good adventure. That's very good adventures. Oh, this is a hard one. It says. Oh, goodness. Oh, Norm. Okay, I got that one. Yay! I just need one more now. Let me see. Must have been with an N-O-R. I got it, Roman, my grand dog. My grand dog saved me. Ah. Oh, goodness. Okay, one more for my. See if I can make it through to my roundup. Okay, let's see. Do. Okay. Okay, let's see. Okay, 2 4-letter words, guys. 2 4-letter words. It's pink, says loud. That sounds like a good one. Good answer. Good answer. We're not going to do the Family Feud. Like, okay, and demo sounds like a good answer too, Beth. And we got a good answer. And now we're going to advance. What are we going to become? Thumbs up or new chef? What kind? What kind? What kind? Come on. I should have advanced. I think these are the things that Sharon's talking about. Go look at the letters. Go look at the letters. There's only one, or so. I don't know what that. I still can't figure it out. But I'm mint and I'm a sous chef. January. Start the year off right. Ran. And I want to run now home. Annie. Gosh, I lost you guys. Jury. That's good, Beth. Jury. 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 Hi, Joy. Joy. Hi, Joy. Jar, yeah. Jar, J. Oh, of course, Ray. Nay. I did it. Yay! Oh, I don't think I can do this anymore. I think I have to. Can't even get this off here. Hold on. I think I have to call it a night. I've been up long. It's been a long day. I've been up since like 7 and I'm exhausted. It's 2:48. Please give this video a thumbs up if you're so inclined. College. If you're so inclined. Make it, Beth. Would you please do that? And I will see you guys tomorrow. Everybody have a good one. Goodbye. Love you guys. God bless. Prayers. We'll see you. Bye. Bye.